So this is what we wanted to share with you folks today. We spent a ton of time talking about listing booster strategies. And we've shared a lot of the strategies in Mortgage Shots Kills and on the Mortgage Shots Kills blog. So just in case you're newer, we'll show you how to find the Mortgage Shots Kills group. It's on Facebook. Go to Mortgage Shots Kills. As long as our connection is not too bad, you literally just search Mortgage Shots Kills. It's going to ask you a couple questions about who you are. And I believe almost all the listing booster hangouts that we have recorded are here. There's a couple that didn't get recorded, but most of them are here. So we got a good chunk of our strategies sitting in the Facebook group that you can join by jumping over there and doing a quick search. Looks like that once you get in. Or the Mortgage Shots blog. So you're going to go to mortgageshots.com. You got to be able to spell mortgage correctly. And the Kills coaching segment is on the far right side. I know we've showed you guys this a few times, but just a review for some of the newer folks to the call today. Kills coaching on the far right side. You're going to want to go over here and subscribe. And then you're going to get information on the newer blogs and tips as they come out. Here's a great one from Frank that's sitting right there. You can go back and learn some of his strategies. So like we said, there's a ton of strategies cataloged for you in the Kills coaching section and in the group. Now today, I wanted to address a challenge that many loan officers have come to us with in the last 6 to 9 months. And that challenge is just straightforward consistency. Folks watch this blog, they watch some of our videos, they talk to friends in their office, they go to seminars, and next thing they know, they've got all these fantastic ideas. And of course, the implementation and the accountability is where they sometimes struggle. And in some cases, it's tech as well, but most of the time, it's just they didn't have much of a plan. So I wanted to help give you folks a template. You don't have to do exactly what I do, but here's a template that we use for some of the folks in our network, and it's just straightforward, simple stuff, and we use Listing Booster quite a bit. So we laid this out for you on a Monday through Friday schedule. I don't necessarily have time of the week penciled in, but I got marketing activities set up on a daily basis where you can print it and either move this to a Google Doc, or you could just print physical copies if you want. You might want to print landscape form. So we plugged in a handful of marketing activities. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of walk you through and explain what we mean by all these activities. I think most of you guys know what these are, but I want to make sure that we're clear on what we're asking you to implement. So one of the marketing activities would just be your straight up warm agent calls or texts. Many folks like to make those calls on Monday. Some folks make 10, some folks make 50. I'm not going to tell you which one works the best, but usually the more that you call, the better, the more you text. And here I put warm because I kind of believe that you're going to have more success with folks that already know you as opposed to complete cold calls. So some of the other activities that we're doing down below are going to help us make these introductions a little bit warmer. So warm agent calls, that's one activity. You guys are sales folks, you know how to do that. All right, next activity, new Listing Booster listing follow-up calls. Now, I just was over on the Mortgage Shots page, and I showed you how Frank has a webinar recorded on this Kills coaching section. This is exactly what we're talking about when we talk about this marketing activity. Listing Booster listing follow-up call. If you notice, I got this listed on every single day of the week. So if you have questions as to what that activity is and how to do it, go back and watch Frank's replay. He'll tell you exactly how to follow up with folks when a new Listing Booster comes in. And what he's asking you to do is follow up with the agent and congratulate them for their new listing, try to make some connections with the seller. Local social marketing. This actually is a Frank strategy as well. Frank uses Coop Out. The folks in my network, some of them use Coop Out, some of them don't. But what we're encouraging folks to do is in local social marketing is remember to reach out to business owners in your market and try to help them get what they want. Try to help them in some way, shape, or form drive more business to or more folks to their business. One of the number one rules of marketing and selling: you help folks get what they want, you get what you want. Okay, next activity: video email agents. So this is going to be high level for some of you folks. We can walk through this perhaps in future calls, but what we want folks to do is start making sure they have their agents either on their Facebook account as friends, following them on LinkedIn, or email lists of their agents, so that when they're making weekly videos and sharing news with their network, they got a place to distribute it. So that's what that activity is: video email agents. It's making some kind of weekly announcement to their agent friends and sending it out. I can I'll perhaps pull up a great example at the end of this call. I'm going to make myself a real quick note to jump back and show you guys what a video email is. Outstanding pre-qual video, and this one is just reminding you to stay in front of your folks that have already been pre-qualified. I know many of you have your own strategies and set up for following up with your pre-qual borrowers, but again, that's a weekly task. I want you to make sure that you remember to do it. Weekly status email, got a couple different spots for this, and there's a few different ways to do it, but this is of course something we want every LO to remember and recall and plug into their weekly to-do list. Generally Tuesdays and Fridays. I know folks have different opinions on this, so we broke it down into actually two sections: pipeline status and weekly status. Pipeline status, a lot of folks like to get that out on a Tuesday. They like to make the call. Weekly status, they like to actually perhaps do an email update by the end of the week on Friday. Top 25, that refers to your network of your top 25 agents, top 25 referral partners, engaging with them on social media, following their page, following their LinkedIn, following their personal profiles, commenting, liking, sharing, just basically engaging with them on social media. So spot for presentation planning. We've told you on some of the past calls, it's a great idea to jump in and start working on listing booster launch presentations. And guess what? We put a couple blocks in the week to do it. All right, these last two, I haven't talked about them much in the listing booster hangouts. These are more social media tips, but they are tips to remind you that if you want to be engaging to your audience, you should be making some posts on Facebook, LinkedIn, and perhaps you should also have a group where you aggregate some of your best agents. I call it my acceleration group. In my case, it's an agent acceleration group. So those are the activities lined up from, I guess, 1 through 8. We've just broken them down in daily tasks. Most of these tasks are fairly quick. For example, well, I guess Monday is kind of your hard day, your agent calls. But many of the days of the week, you're only going to find 1, 2, 3 new listings. I mean, I hope you've got hundreds of people in your listing booster account and you've got a dozen to call every day. But many of the LOs that I've talked to, their listing booster following up calls, they have anywhere from 1 to 10 a day. Somebody like Greg Peckman with 100 agents in his account, he is finding himself with anywhere from 7 to 12 a day. But this is one of your better opportunities to get a deal, as Frank has said, I just showed you. So every single day we added the listing booster follow-up call. On Mondays, a little bit more grueling. Make sure we get through our warm agents, our listing booster follow-ups. Our top 25 agents, we're engaging them on social media, and we're just doing one post in some way, shape, or form on Facebook and LinkedIn. So let's say that our agent call list takes us an hour, and we've got one new listing. Now we're sitting in an hour and maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Our top 25 like, comment, and share, this literally takes 5 to 10 minutes. One post on Facebook takes 5 to 10 minutes. So Monday's a heavy day. We've got maybe an hour and a half worth of marketing activities. But Tuesday's going to be a little bit lighter. Maybe a call or two. Run through our pipeline with our team. Make sure if we've got an LOA or a good team, we're statusing all of our buyers. I don't know for sure if we want to count that time as marketing, but it's very important to remember that the better job we do throughout the process, the less we have to market for colder referrals. So this part of the reason we wanted to include this on Tuesday was that we want to make sure folks are marketing throughout the process. So this could be a 5-minute task, could be a half an hour task, depending on how many loans you got in process. Top 25, again, 5-minute task, 10-minute task, and 1 Facebook post, again, real quick. So maybe 45 minutes on Tuesday or just over an hour on Monday. Wednesday, we did ask you to make 1 video. This could take you 20 minutes. Your first one might take you an hour, but ultimately, you got another listing booster follow-up day, some more commenting on social media, and 1 video follow-up. So I would say you could still do this on Wednesday in a half an hour to 45 minutes. All right, now moving on to Thursday and Friday. Fairly the same. On Friday, we added making sure you're statusing folks before the weekend. We also added some sections for presentation planning and posting some content in a group that you've created to perhaps educate your agents. So the group that you're creating, usually a Facebook group, it can be email distribution group as well, is where you're going to share your announcements about your presentations and any tips that you have for the agents on marketing. Some folks will actually make posts to agents groups pretty much every day. Some folks do it once or twice a week. I recommend doing it once or twice a week. But I wanted to make sure we showed you guys, carve a section into your schedule for presentation planning every single week. Whether it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, if you can make sure that you're scheduling more calls and you are spending time filling the seats at your next presentation, you're going to do a lot better with some of the Monday warm agent calls that you make. Why? Because you've planned your presentations out, you've filled the seats with at your presentations, and now you're following up with folks on Monday. You still with me there, Kian? Could be just me.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I'm with you, bud.
Cool, dude. All right, so I'm going to show you guys a good example of a weekly video, and I'm going to show you, we're going to jump over to my good friend Jason from Movement Mortgage in Texas. Jason implements the weekly video plan. He makes these videos and he sends them out to his email list, to his, of course, all of his Facebook friends, his business page, and I believe he shares them on LinkedIn as well. This, I think, his weekly, what does he call it, Hump Day News? It's usually on Wednesdays. Here's one that he just did. He does ones on Mondays for Military Mortgage Boot Camp. So look, he's got an extra piece in his marketing plan. He's got an extra video he does once a week for VA loans. But his Wednesday post, I believe he calls Hump Day News. And that's, again, part of his marketing plan to stay in front of his audience every week. Look, he started waking up at 5 a.m. every day. Good for him. Okay, he's sharing a little bit about what he did over the weekend. Okay, here, where is this? Where is this Wednesday news? I got to go all the way down to Wednesday. This guy's posting a lot. Sorry, I should have had this one pulled up for you guys in advance. Okay, where's my Hump Day News? Come on, Jason, don't let me down in notes here. Should have found this before I got you guys on the call. I apologize for being a little bit slow. There we go. Okay, so this is an example of our weekly activity, Hump Day News. If you're friends with Jason, you can jump over and check this out. But he's not talking about mortgages all day long. Of course, you can see he's got his movement shirt on, but he's talking about, oh, look, there's a party day in his office. There's proud parents. He's looks like he's announcing one of his clients, perhaps, or friends had a daughter. He's dropping some tips as to how to help folks with their business. I don't want to stop and go watch Jason's video on a webinar. That's kind of awkward. But if you want to see what we're talking about when we talk about making weekly videos as part of your business on Wednesday, videoing your email list and Facebook posting, that's a great example. I got another friend, Steven, that I believe does it on Tuesdays. So we're going to hop over here and we'll see. I think Steven posted one this morning. Now, the reason I'm mixing this in with listing booster coaching is that these kind of activities allow you to stay top of mind. Yeah, so here's Steven does them on Tuesdays. So here's Steven's Tuesday tip. These kind of activities allow you to stay top of mind with your agent network. So the way I've got this laid out is we're very intentional. We're going to take a list of agents. We're going to engage with them. We're going to make sure we're following up with them every time they get a new listing. We're going to be calling them on Monday. We're going to be planning presentations for them. We're going to be engaging with them on social media. We're going to put them into groups where we're helping them get better at their business by building marketing and training skills. And of course, we're going to stay consistent throughout our process. So all of these activities allow you to use Listing Booster to the best of your ability. So I know I didn't spend a ton of time showing you exactly how to log in and pull pieces out of Listing Booster, but if you're combining all of your Listing Booster activities with a true marketing plan and doing anywhere from 20 to 1 hour a day, maybe an hour and a half, of marketing activities, at the end of the week, you will have spent hopefully 3 to 4 hours marketing, roughly 1/10 of your week. I promise you, if you spend 1/10 of your week marketing, you're going to have a lot better results than you had in the past if you were spending 5 minutes a week. Last thing I wanted to do here, and I am not the best in the world at finding this. If I can't find it, I'll apologize. I want to show you guys how you can put your agents into a group on Facebook. I might have to go back and make a quick follow-up video and drop it into Mortgage Shots because I think that's what I'll probably do. But one of the activities I showed you here was making a group of folks and putting them in a top 25 to comment, like, and share. I'll put a follow-up video on Mortgage Shot Skills that you guys can watch where I show you how we do that in Facebook. So if anyone has any questions, go ahead and how do they get the questions in, Kian?
You just type them in the place that says questions.
Okay, cool.
I don't see any right now.
Okay, cool. So I dropped this in the Mortgage Shots group, and like I said, these activities are things we've already showed you. The Listing Booster follow-up, social marketing, Frank talks about that a lot in Coop Out, hitting up your email list, staying in front of your agents, and planning presentations. So I'll go in later today and give you an example of one of the Listing Booster launch presentations. I know there's a couple already in the Listing Booster website, but I'll pull one of the ones that we use on our team for our Listing Booster launch presentations. And now you've got some common accountability system. Print it up, have your team use it, make sure you go through all the activities, and stay as much on task as you can when it comes to completing the activities. I promise you, if you implement even a portion of this and take your marketing energy from 10-20 minutes a day up to 30 minutes to an hour and are very regimented about it, you'll see a huge increase in your business. Dig it, bud?
I think it's cool, man. Thank you very much, Fish, for sharing. One quick question. What happens if I totally screw off a day and I miss and I fall off track?
Well, if you miss and you fall off track, the world's not going to end. You can certainly go catch up. There's going to be days where you don't have new listings to follow up on. And there's activities I didn't put in here. I didn't put some of your higher level activities related to like you want to drive the seller's house and put signs in their yard. You perhaps want to run some ads. There's a lot of activities that you can add to this, and there are a lot of things that I see other loan officers doing, is sending out cookies and doing meetings at orchards in the fall. I didn't put all that in here, but when we're talking to the folks that are using Listing Booster, and we start asking them questions about what they're doing on a weekly basis, we often find that they're doing none of these activities. All the stuff I got listed here, they're not doing it all. They're not, I mean, they might be calling some agents on Monday because they were told to do that by their manager or another coaching program, but they're not following up when the Listing Booster leads come in. They're not planning presentations for the future. They're certainly not asking agents when they call them if they'd like to have them present in their office and teach them how to be better at generating more leads. They're not necessarily statusing their buyers as consistently as they should. They're not making weekly videos, and they're not posting in their social networks. So we tried to pull out what we thought were the simplest and the most effective strategies using email, social media, and Listing Booster, and just kind of combined them all together into a, like I said, 30 minutes a day, but it could be anywhere from 20 minutes to over an hour, depending on how many folks you got on your list. Now, I personally, if I was going to tell you to make sure you didn't miss any of these activities, I'd say do not miss making a weekly video, and do not miss following up with your new Listing Booster leads. And do not miss planning some kind of future presentation. These are the activities that I see loan officers skipping constantly because they think it's taking too much time. Putting a date on the calendar, pulling together a PowerPoint, starting to ask folks if they want to come. It doesn't take that much time. It really doesn't. But loan officers are convincing themselves that it's overwhelming to them and it takes too much time, and they just keep kicking the can down the road. So I figured if we at least gave you guys a roadmap that would help you be more successful, whether you have the best presentation in the world or not, the more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
That's awesome, man. You know, that's the old thing. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But, you know, activity definitely breeds and spurs more activity. These are the simple little activities that, I don't know, keep swimming you towards a deal. Cool, man. Don't see any questions. Don't have a lot of feedback here. We have a small group on this. This video is being recorded, so it will be up in Mortgage Shots Kills later this afternoon. And as Fish mentioned earlier, there are some awful good recordings of some strategies and some tips that if you find yourself with some free time or interest, swing by, take a look.
So if you want, in the